Shalom, shalom. All right, first and foremost, I'd like to give all thanks, glory, honor, and praise to the supreme power, Yahweh, Bahashem, Yahweh Shai, Bahashem, Rakah Kadash, and double honors to the elders and the apostles of the great millstone. Peace and salutation to the hopeful elect. Shalom to the few sisters watching and learning. Stay strong, remain humble. This is the brother Kazawan from the GMS Bahamas camp, back at you through the spirit and power of Yahweh Bahashem, Yahweh Shai with another lesson. Lord's willing, the lesson be edifying and serves its purpose, which is to help build the spiritual tabernacle of King David. Of course, we know we are at the end of times. We only have two more major prophecies to be fulfilled. That is the mandatory implementation of the Charagma, the mark of the beast, with Revelations 18 chapter speaks of. All right, and World War III, soon to follow after. That would be the wars of all wars, the end of all wars. All right, the wars of all wars. All right, we ask Lord Yahweh Shai will become victorious and be back here to rule in all righteousness, all right, in our heavenly kingdom. But a mandatory implementation of the Charagma is being pushed. The devil knows that he has a short time to push this. That's why you're getting in motion. Everything is in motion right now. All right, they have this what you would call a quote-unquote 2030 agenda. All right, they have a depopulation agenda, and they're trying to see who all they could get to take this mark of the beast, all right, before this agenda, all right, takes place. All right, but here I have the agenda is going to be basically in a different disguises. It's going to come financially. It's going to come in healthcare, via healthcare. It's going to come in the form of brain implants, digital currencies, and now here we have basically a free. They're having a free grocery store launch in Babylon the Great, all right, in the Rotten Apple in New York. But they say that all you have to do is scan with the code from your phone for now, all right, but it's going to turn into a scan from your hand. They're going to be scanning your hand and your head and your forehead. So wherever you take that RFID microchip, which is the mark of the beast, all right, wherever you take that, you're going to be able to scan that and get free groceries, and that's just how they're going to lure basically Jake in. All right, it's like dangling a carrot in front of a rabbit, or get dangling cheese in front of a rat. All right, this is what they're doing right now. And according to this video, all right, the lines is wrapped around the corner, all right, for these free groceries. All right, so they know Jake, they're basically they know that Jake is vulnerable, all right, to the situation. So what they're going to do is basically just lure them. All right, and we know that two-thirds of our people are allotted for that. All right, but the elect of Yahweh Hashem Yahweh Shai is not going to get caught up, all right, in these snares. This is a snare by Esau Edom, that kind of hunter. All right, that roaring lion, who's seeking whom he may devour. And we know we can devour two-thirds of our people because they like free things, they like slackness. All right, but let me play this little short video. Get a couple of precepts to drive my point home. I don't want to make this too long. Lord's willing, the lesson be edifying. Fair use, fair use, fair use.
It has been called New York City's first ever free grocery store, and it's opening today in Manhattan. Fox 5's Linda Schmidt is live in the West Village with more on what's behind this viral marketing campaign. Free groceries is something I'm all ears.
Yeah, you know what? This is really something, Bianca. We got down here, I was like, whoa, this line is wrapped around the block. But this is the company right here. It's called Polymarket. And what it is it is a prediction market company. And what they do is they allow people to predict what's going to happen, the outcome of sports, politics, entertainment, what's the weather going to be like, and then you can bet online on those things. Well, they have now opened up for the next few days. What they are billing is New York's first free grocery store. We are here on 7th Avenue and Charles Street. I want you to walk with me here because there are people lined up, and I'm not kidding you. It goes all the way down the block here. They even have some of the heat lamps out here because it is chilly. Hey, can we talk to you for just a moment? So people are able to get a tote bag, go into the grocery store, fill up that tote bag with whatever it is that they have, whatever it is that they want, and the groceries are free. Okay,
and this is just how they're going to get Jake, all right? Like I say, all right, we know Jake is sortish. We know Jake, all right, they love free things. We know Jake is always at the forefront of everything, basically. I wouldn't say slackness, but you get the drift of what I'm saying, right? That's Jake for you now. Okay, they love this type vibe. Okay, but this devil know that he have a short time. That's why he basically turning up the heat right now. He ain't nothing free. This devil don't give you nothing free. Nothing free. All right, it always come at a price. All right, they just test dummies right now. It's Revelations 12:12. Therefore rejoice ye heavens, and ye that dwell in them. Woe to the inhabitants of the earth and of the sea, for the devil, all right, the physical counterpart of the spiritual demon Satan, the so-called white man, is come down unto you having a great wrath, because he knoweth that he have but a short time. All right, this devil know. Okay, he's saying, buddy, what? This ain't free. All right, come get your free stuff. All right, come get your free stuff. All right, that's what this devil said. All right, it's 1 Peter 5:8. All right, it reads, be sober, be vigilant, because your adversary, the devil, as a roaring lion, walketh about seeking whom he may devour. All right, that's why we have to be sober and vigilant. We have to know, let the devil know, baby, up to your old tricks, baby. You can't trick us, okay? But this is what's happening on that worldwide scale. All right, Esau Edom ain't playing, man. Esau Edom ain't playing. This is what's happening now.
Well, it has been called New York City's first ever free grocery store, and it's opening today in...
Whatever it is that they have, whatever it is that they want, and the groceries are free. Okay, what's your first name?
My first name is Craig.
All right, Craig, you yelled out to me, so obviously you watch Fox 5, so thank you, first of all, for that.
I'm an 80s baby.
So now, do me a favor, tell me, why are you here?
I'm here because, they Poly Market, which I'd never heard of until now, they are giving away free groceries. And I think it's very imperative because of the simple fact that inflation is across the country. There are many families and individuals struggling to provide for their families, keep food in the tables.
And this happening in the Mecca, in the epicenter, in a place like New York City. All right, people still struggling despite the reports that, all right, the world is back on track, everything is back in its rightful order. I can see the same thing happening over here in the Bahamas. All right, because the Bahamas, these people over here in the Bahamas, they proud, but yet still, all right, they still hating, they still living from paycheck to paycheck. All right, things ain't like how it was back in the days, all right, where they could have been scornful and wasteful. All right, they might find ways to get things, to do other things, but guess what, it ain't like how everybody making it out to believe. Everybody just basically pretending, all right, and pump faking. All right, but guess what? The Most High Power Yahweh Shem Yahweh Shai have a way of just revealing things, all right, bringing things to its rightful place. See, they forget when that pandemic was around, when everyone was basically on them food lines, all right, and relying on the government for food. Even the higher ups and the high and mighty, all right, was relying on the government for food, all right. And we only one more pandemic away, all right, from that happening again. All right, but pride is getting to these people's head, but it is what it is.
And what are you hoping that they have inside, real quickly, for you?
Well, I'm hoping that they have the necessities like cereal and muffins and beverages, like things, snacks, the average.
All right, thanks so much. I appreciate it. And thank you for watching us, too. Good luck in there. Okay, we're going to continue just down the line, just so you can see that the line is stretched all the way down here. It is stretched all around the block. And I'm coming up on another lady I had spoken to, Miss Athena. Here we are. We spoke with you a little bit earlier. Yeah. So now, what do you think about this whole thing? Because you and I had talked about the fact that this is basically related to gambling. Yes. You know the company. And they have donated $1 million to the food bank of New York City. Yes. So this is a promotion as well. Mm-hmm. So what do you think about all this?
Again, I came for the experiments. For the experience. I think it's a social experience. Also, it's a good idea.
She's smart. She says she thinks it's a social experiment, and that's what it is. All they basically doing is seeing, but let's see who all we can get to take that microchip. Let's see who all we can to take that thing inside their hand and their forehead. And as you can hear, the line wrap around the corner. All right, so Fiona have some semblance of what's going on, but she still don't know what's going on, because I doubt she know. All right, who is the true and living power, which is Yahweh Ba'Shem Yahweh Shai. Let's go for all the so-called Native Americans, Negroes, and Latinos, all right, over there in Babylon the Great, because Babylon is a great melting pot. But we scattered all across the world. We look like everybody, all right. But they basically main target is Jake when it comes to that charagma, all right. They ain't giving worrying about what these other heathen nations do. They can do what they want to do, all right. We worrying about our people, all right.
just for the experience.
Right.
I don't think it's a good idea for New York to do this all the time or every day on a consistent basis, because it'll lead us back to maybe like Cuba, when they give out food to families and everybody has to come.
So that's a concern for
Listen
you.
to Pride.
Okay,
Listen
Azina,
to
thanks so
Pride.
much. I'm sorry, we got to get
She
going
rather
here.
rely on the government.
But again, this is going on today through Monday. It's open up in the afternoon. Today, this line is wrapped around the block. And we will have more for you coming up on the 5 o'clock news today. Bianca, back inside to you. I was really surprised when I got here how many people were in line already.
I can imagine. I saw this on Instagram last week, and I said, oh, they are going to have a ton of people show up there, Linda. So glad you got to talk to a couple of them.
That's how it is. All right, this is what we come to. This is what Jake come to over there in Babylon the Great. All right, but guess what? The scripture tells us, but we can't never trust our enemy, We ain't supposed to be trusting our enemy. All right, the enemy. All right, the chief enemy. All right, Esau Edom, the so-called white man. Because them things that in that food store, it was given out for free. They ain't no good for you, right? But it is what it is. Because you done here with homeboy, say you want. He say what he say you want. We want muffins and cookies and cereal and stuff like that. No poison. All they doing is selling poison any which way. This book is Sirach 12:10. It reads, never trust thine enemy, for like as iron rusted, so is his wickedness. Though he humble himself and go crouching, yet take good heed and beware of him. And thou shalt be unto him as thou hast wiped the looking glass, and thou shalt know that his rust hath not been altogether wiped away. And that is true, all right? We can't trust our enemy. You got to trust the devil to be the devil. Ain't nothing free. This is a social experiment, just like the ladies say, all right? They only feeding you poison in them food store any which way, all right? But they only want to see who all they could get, who all vulnerable. They basically preying on the vulnerability of you so-called Native Americans, Negroes, and Latinos, all right? Especially the Negroes over there, all right, over there in NYC. They never did like y'all, all right? But our people, where they so love massa, all right, they could be basically tap dancing for massa straight through, all right? They could be that social experiment. They'll volunteer to be a social experiment. But Sirach 12:13 say, who will pity a charmer that is bitten with the serpent, or any such as come nigh a wild beast, all right? And that's our people, all right? Stay forever trusting in Egypt, all right? But guess what? All this is a social experiment, all right, for that Karagma Bay. All right. Let me close out. Close out with Isaiah 36:6. Anyways. All right, this book of Isaiah, chapter 36. 36:6. It reads, lo, thou trusted in the staff of this broken reed on Egypt. And that's what our people do. They trust in these governments. All right, they trust in basically political leaders. They trust in their spiritual leaders, in them damn holidays and them churches. All right, they trust in them celebrities. Basically, they trust in the any new phase or new fad, social media or whatever. They trust in that. All right, before they put their trust in Yahweh Bashim Yahushai to provide for them. All right, that's why 2/3 of them are going to be susceptible to taking that damn Karagmo. Isaiah 36:6. Lo, thou trusted in the staff of this broken reed on Egypt, whereon if a man lean, it will go into his hand and pierce it. So is Pharaoh, king of Egypt, to all that trust in him. All right, and all of them have to pick their side. All right, because all you got to do is basically hold things away from Jake. You hold that food away for a little while. You hold that water away for a little while. All right, they can crack. Right, they can run to go take that Karagma just so they can stand there, they can blame it. They can say, we had to do this for our families. All right, but it is what it is. It is what it is. All right, this is how Yahweh Bashim Yahushai separating the sheep from the goat. All right. It's Revelations 3:10. So now, come on, baby. Revelations 3:10. It reads, because thou hast kept my word of my patience, I also will keep thee from the hour of temptation. All right, and that hour of temptation, all right, it's right around the corner, because the mandatory implementation of the Karagma, the mark of the beast, is right here. All right, they're going to just basically see who's going to willfully take it, all right, and then who they're going to have to force to take that. And then we know some of us are going to be martyred. We're going to be martyred for not taking that, all right, but we'll rise first on the day of Lord Yahushua Mashiach's return. All right, he said, because thou hast kept the word of my patience, I will also keep thee from the hour of temptation, which shall come upon all the world to try them that dwell upon the earth. And they come in. All right, it's actually here. All right, it's actually here. All right, Revelation 13 and 16. And he calls it all, both small and great, rich and poor, free and born, to receive that mark in their right hand or in their foreheads, and that no man may buy or sell save he had that mark, or the name of the beast, or the number of his name. All right, everybody's going to have to take it. And guess what? You're not going to have a choice. All right, for them now, from the baby to the breast, all right, to the old person stoop down with age. And they're not going to allow you to be a viable part in society unless you are connected to the Internet of Things via that RFID microchip. Unless you could scan your hand or pay for things with that device inside, that subdermal device inside your body. All right. Here is wisdom. Let him that understanding count the number of the beast, for it is the number of a man, and this number is 603 All right. Like I said, they're going to basically do this. You're going to be known by that barcode, psi sigma. You're going to be known, but they're going to basically introduce it, all right, through the healthcare system, all right, via that Neuralink, all right. Basically, they already said that they want to put tracking devices in every American citizen, all right, from birth, all right, from birth straight up to whatever age you is, all right. Before a newborn's mother be able to hold them in the hand, then they just gotta put that tracking device in them. All right, that's how sick these people is. But that's what the Lord say. All right, the Lord say He can march you down if you take it. Revelation 14 and 9. And the third angel followed them, saying with a loud voice, if any man worship the beast and his image, and receive his mark in his forehead or in his hand, the same shall drink of the wine of the wrath of Yahweh, which is poured out without mixture into the cup of his indignation, and he shall be tormented with fire and brimstone in the presence of the holy angels and in the presence of the Lamb. So the Most High power marching on anybody who take that. All right, don't matter if you take it in and put it in and take it back out. All right, the Lord still can march you down for lack of faith. All right, so don't take that charagma. All right, you have to watch as well as pray. All right, you have to measure the times diligently to see where we are. All right, in terms of prophecy. All right, and you have to be sober and be vigilant. All right, don't be deceived by this damn devil. All right, so with that, I'd like to give all thanks, glory, honor, and praise to the supreme power, Yahweh, Bahashim, Yahushai, Bahashim, Rakaha, Kadash. Double honor to the elders and the apostles of the great stone. Peace and salutation to the hopefully elect. All right, this is the brother Kaz, one closing until we meet again. Shalom, Abad Babal, and Ban-Yasharahla.